Hey everyone, it's Kimber Schaefer here with Rage in the Cage OKC News. We're here at the Weight Room in Oklahoma City, a sponsor for Rage in the Cage. We're talking all things Rage in the Cage 57, which is going down March 10th at the Oklahoma City Farmers Public Market. And we've got Deandrea Carter here. I'm doing great. You're doing great as well in your MMA career. You are now 2-0 and hoping to get that victory. You're now earned your shot at a Rage in the Cage title belt fight, the 145 title belt. Going down March 10th, you're fighting Speedy Amaya, who has a few extra fights on you. I think he's got 6 fights now as well. So how are you feeling going into this fight?
I feel pretty good. It's just another day at the office. You train, you train with different people, different fighting styles, so you get used to problem solving early in that cage. So I feel pretty good.
And you're no stranger to the cage, even though you've just had 2 fights. You've been really training. Your first fight was 5 years ago, so you've been training for quite a few years in your life.
Not really MMA, but it was, my one of my good friends told me, hey, maybe you should take an MMA fight. I was in college wrestling, and I had a little bit of downtime during the summer, so it's another way to kind of stay active. So I took it just on a limb. So I did pretty good, won it.
Did pretty good, won it, just on a whim. Didn't really train for it. No.
We actually trained at the in his garage, and also at the college. So he'll hold pass for me, give me little tidbits, and then after that it's figured out.
Tell me a little bit about your wrestling career then.
High school, I was 57-0 state champ out of Texas. Went to college, Levesque Community College. I wrestled there, and I was ranked at one point in the nation. I think it was number 4 or 5 at 141. So, I didn't finish where I wanted to in college, so I'm trying to make a little bit of a comeback.
Sounds good. Comebacks are always good. So, obviously, I'm assuming this is your first chance, though, at an MMA title belt, you being 2-0 now. Obviously, you've proven yourself in the cage. You deserve this opportunity. Does it make your training camp any different at this stage, knowing that a belt's on the line, or is it just another day for you?
And I hate to make it sound like it's just another day, but it adds a little bit of fuel to the fire, but, you already have fuel to the fire when you step in that cage and you risk getting brain damage. You have to be aware. You have to be ready to go at all times. So belt is cool. I'll take the belt. I will. But hey, I just love training, love doing this.
Well, I have to agree with that as well, because honestly, nobody goes in there to lose in the first place. So you're going in to win, whether there's a belt on the line or not. I think that it's always a goal for every fighter by the end of their amateur career to have at least fought for a belt. It seems like kind of the common thing that I hear from amateur fighters.
Yeah, you want at least to try and say, hey, I don't have just another fight coming up, but I'm also fighting for a belt. So that makes it a lot easier to sell tickets. And it'll make it a lot easier for people to come out and support you and actually put a little bit of a spotlight on you, rather than just, hey, I got another fight coming up. So that's what I like about the title shots. But my training, as far as that goes, I know how to train. I don't like to trick things up too much and psych myself out or get out of a routine. So, but yeah, title shot's good.
Well, and I would guess that it actually, it would make you feel really good about you, that a promotion, that your gym, that everybody feels confident enough in you as a fighter to know that you have 2 fights, which are both wins in dominant manner, to put you in there for a title this early in your career. It has to really make you feel good about yourself.
It's actually a double-edged sword. I'm gonna be honest with you. When you do have a little bit of a spotlight on you, like they see potential in you, they want to see you succeed, and they put a little bit of time or a little bit of research and effort into you. So it makes you not want to let them down. So I think it's more of a pressure actually having that spotlight on you in your own gym, because you got to come and you got to perform. You're training with, pro fighters, especially AMA. They got a lot of pro fighters there. and you have to come with your A game every practice. So, like I said, so I just enjoy the pressure, and I don't shy away from it. So.
Well, I definitely think that was an important aspect to bring up because I really hadn't thought through that so much. But sometimes there are fighters out there that have choked under that pressure. It really is just too much pressure for them. So how do you kind of, I guess, keep that in a bubble per se and put the pressure on yourself but not let the pressure get to you?
I'm going to be honest. This is a very, very simple concept. You stay grounded. The people that you've known your whole life, you keep those people with you. They will keep you humble. They will keep you grounded. If you got other people coming in saying, oh, you're really good, I would love to see how far you go, and you start surrounding yourself with new people, and you start to believe in your own hype. And that sometimes gets you in trouble if you think you're a Mr. Untouchable. So you always have to constantly test yourself. Throw yourself in the the lion's den. Fight with pro guys that you don't think you can beat just to see where you match up. But if you're training with guys and you're beating guys that you know you can beat, it's not doing you any favors. So.
Well, that's true, and I've seen this. We've seen it in the UFC. We've seen it on the local level. Egos get you in trouble.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Egos get you in trouble. Don't get me wrong. I think every fighter has a little bit of an ego. I think you kind of need that in this game. You have to be alpha male. You have to think that you're going to win every fight, but at the same time, you have to be realistic. You have to be humble. You have to know where your weaknesses are, and that's what I constantly look at film when I'm not practicing. If I have a little bit of downtime, I'll look at Manny Pacquiao because he's a southpaw and a southpaw. I look how he set things up, and it's just a constant learning thing. So.
Sounds good. And the lucky part, you're still in your amateur career, so this is the time that you learn, and also pretty blessed that right now on this point in your amateur career, you haven't experienced a loss. And so right now it's just growing yourself as a fighter. How do you take day-to-day training in this? How do you balance that with your normal life?
Day-to-day training, I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's just like with anything else. You have a regular day job because most fighters, even though do turn pro, they're not making Conor McGregor money. You're still grinding, so you still have to have a regular day job. I personally have a kid, so I have to train. I have to come home. I have to take care of my son. I have to spend time with my girlfriend. So it's a lot of things that go into it. But when you're at practice, you have to be at practice. You have to focus on practice, and then once you leave practice, focus on your family. Be a well-balanced person, I believe, and it's gonna all pan out. I personally, the 2-0 record, that's cool, but you do face a little bitty ugh.
So you gonna answer it?
No.
With Mom.
It was my mom. I'll call you back, Mom. But no, I've experienced losses in wrestling. I've experienced losses in practice. When you're sparring, really good guys. Travis Nero, he's a really good boxer, and so you have to be on your A game. And if you're slightly off that day, you're going to be walking around with a bruised ego. So I've experienced a little bit of losses here and there during practice, and I take that as a loss to my record. And I take that really, really personal, really serious, and I'll come back stronger next day.
Hey, I like that. And I like that you remembered some of your teammates, and you mentioned Travis Nero because he's a fighter that has just come such a long way and definitely an incredible stand-up. So I'm glad that you gave him the shout-out.
Travis Nero, yeah, he met my son. He actually ate with me and my family. So he's a good friend of mine. He's teaching me stuff about stand-up. I'm working with him on a little bit of his wrestling. So we just complement each other. And this is, other guys, too, that I train with. Nathan, yeah, Death Ray. Hey, that's the guy you do not want to be slipping on. If you're fighting him, if you're sparring with him, do not go in there have speed. Yeah, because he will,
annihilate.
Yeah, he will put it on you. So, but also, Tavares, he's out there. That's a guy you don't want to sleep on either. Those leg kicks. I remember the first time I sparred with him, my leg was a little swollen. So it's little things like that that you learn from.
Well, I tell you, I've learned a lot about you, Deandrea. I really appreciate you coming out for interviews and not only letting me get to know you, but also all the people out there that will watch this video. And it's so important for you, as well as any fighter, to be able to share yourself with all the fans out there, because that's how you build your fan base. And I'm glad that you see the importance in that.
Yeah, I'm trying to build a little bit of a fan base, but I just, I think mostly I gotta try and be that Conor McGregor trash talking everybody to, it seems like it at least, to get a bigger fan base. But we'll see. If you see me, in the future trash talking, you know what I'm trying to do.
I will give you a pass then, if that's the case. Because sometimes I, get on to fighters, just say, hey, you don't have to do that. But I understand some fans like to hear that.
They do, and I think it actually, I understand it completely 100%. But the true essence of martial arts was the whole respect thing, and I believe that in my core. To respect your opponent. Without each other, we couldn't test each other or our abilities. So at the end of the day, if it is a little trash talk, if we don't like each other, if I win, lose, or draw, I'm going to shake your hand because you made me a better person at the end of the day. So
very true. I love the positivity in this sport as well, and I really appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Hey, before I let you go though, any shout outs, any sponsors that you have now that you want to shout out to?
No sponsors. Mom, sorry, I'll call you back. But other than that, nah. AMA all the way.
Sounds great. Thank you so much. Hey guys, come see this guy in a title fight March 10th at the Oklahoma City Farmers Public Market. He's got tickets in hand, as well as any other fighter on the card if you've got another favorite. And of course, you can get them online, and we hope to see you there. Thank you so much.